So you and I have spoken the last two times. Once was at the All-Star, here, and we were talking about the old school, method of hitting, and we were saying how a guy like Luis Ariz isn't valued. But you take a look at this Mets lineup, and that's the type of hitters these guys are. How pleased are you to see the professionalism in hitting kind of coming back, where it's not all about launch angle?
Well, honestly speaking, I do feel that even though we don't want to think about launch angle, we don't want to think about that, all the things are in baseball right now. That's part of the vocabulary these days. So you gotta go with what makes sense for you, what works for you, and in my case, even though I didn't thought about launch angle, but I wanted to hit the ball in the air. I wanted to hit the ball in the gap. I wanted to hit the ball certain degrees where it was going to give me an opportunity for me to drive the ball. So, it's part of the vocabulary these days. You need to adapt. At the end of the day, I'm looking forward to see hitters focusing on quality at bats, trying to hit the ball in the middle of the field. Make sure you give yourself a better chance and a better opportunity to be successful.
The other thing you and I spoke about in spring training was about Luis Robert Jr. And his ceiling. Just watching his BP, he's got such an effortless swing, but yet he generates so much power. I know he's from the opposite side, but does he remind you at all, the simplicity in his swing, a little bit of Carlos Delgado?
Well, he's 6'4", 230. So if you use 6'4", 230, you're going to hit the ball hard. There's no doubt that he's talented. There's no doubt that, he's been consistent this year, hitting the ball extremely hard. We're trying to get him hit the ball a little bit more into the air. That's something that is gonna come with him with time, right? We don't want him to think about anything other than making sure that he put good at bats. Right now, he cuts his chase rate, a lot, which is amazing. He's healthy. He looks strong, and we hope that he could be healthy for the rest of the season.
And lastly, you talked about the defense in spring training, and you were excited to see all these shortstops playing at the other positions. What have you seen so far that you're excited about?
Well, honestly speaking, I do feel that we have a lot of athletes in the infielders, which is great. It gives Carlos also a little bit of flexibility with such as athletes playing 3 shortstop playing in the infield. That's something that is unusual in baseball, but at the same time, we're blessed and happy that we have those guys, and those are guys that also, they bring so much into the clubhouse, into the culture, and it's positive to see that.
I lied, I have one more.
Yep.
You and J.D. Martinez being around these guys, how much did you ever have that wealth of knowledge in an organization around you that's there to help?
Honestly speaking, I do feel the organization sometimes brings ex-players into spring training. For us to have JD, and I've been here, this is my 3rd year. I love it. I think this is what it's all about. It's about sharing what you know, sharing your experiences in baseball, understanding that you're gonna succeed, you're gonna fail. So trying to share those moments where when you succeed, what you were thinking of, and when you fail, what are the things that are going through your mind. So it's easy for us to relate in that aspect with the players, and I'm glad that JD is willing also to be part of the organization, willing to impact players.